So I very recently found an interesting video on TikTok. I came across this guy and he was essentially talking about how it makes him feel, and rightfully so, how it makes him feel when women make fun of men when men cry, specifically. You know, they seem to have a problem when we show emotion, in particular when we cry. So let's hear what he's got to say about it.
So I'm just about to address this issue, right? And I'm not going to let my lower self show up in too big of a way. But what's pissing me off is, obviously I drop breathwork videos, guys, and a lot of the world is programmed or uneducated to not understand the power of the breath and how we get trapped emotions in the body, and the breath will help release them. That's fine and dandy. My job is to educate the people. But what's pissing me off is women that are laughing at men crying. It's fucking actually really jamming me. You're always going to get your dudes that are like, you check out his profile and he's just out there fishing and having a VB, and he fucking, sees a man crying or a woman and thinks, that's fucking shit house. I'll just have a beer. I get that. But women, you check out their profile, they're holding a child, and then, you get a man that's emotionally breaking and they find that funny. Yeah, no, I don't like it. It's actually triggering. I fucking don't like it. We lose 7 men a day. We lose 7 men a day to unaliving themselves in Australia. That is from men suppressing their emotions, And I don't want to stereotype it, but fuck me, if that woman is laughing at a man that's releasing his emotions, then I'm just going to call it. It is what it is, man. That seems like a real fucking toxic relationship. But the last thing I want to do is be with a woman that, when I'm going through it, she thinks it's funny or it's weak. I'm actually going to dig deeper on this, I'm going to sit and I'm going to reflect and I'm going to see why this jams me so much. But it does. I'm going to go down the rabbit hole tonight, I'm going to sit with it for a few hours and really peel it apart. If you've got any ideas, guys, let me know. But, when I see a woman in the comments laughing at a man that is emotionally breaking, and I know that could be saving his life because he's probably suppressed those emotions for how long now? How many fucking years? And releasing them emotions is definitely going to make him a better version. And probably save his life, let's be honest. And when I see a woman laughing at that, I don't fucking like it. Anyways, it is what it is. Tell me what you think.
So typically I'll hop in and chop these videos up and give a lot of hot takes, but I wanted this guy's TikTok to play all the way through because it was very telling. His emotions were true. His intent was true. The way he was feeling was completely true and honest. And I 100% agree with him. I mean, we as men can become vulnerable at times too. And we're taught never to have any chinks in our armor, right? But sometimes things happen to you. Sometimes you get pushed to a limit. You get pushed to the edge. You could be having a super bad day. You could have had a string of bad days. You could have life-altering events happening to you. And for a woman to sit there and laugh at your pain and your grief is honestly hypocritical, because a woman like that would probably be under the assumption that you as the man would immediately comfort her like it's your job. And these women forget, kind of like little spoiled children, that you need to reciprocate from time to time. And if you're that selfish with your own emotions, you're probably that selfish with your money. If you're married to a guy, you're probably selfish with your spouse's money. You're most likely headed down the divorce road if you're not already divorced from the guy that you're with. As a woman that has those kind of mentalities, those kind of thoughts, to think that a man is weak for crying, that's completely wrong. And listen, I've been there, guys, and I'm sure many of you have too. I'm sure that's why you clicked on this video, just to get some reassurance that you're not alone. And believe me, fellas, you're not alone. Imagine, I'll give you guys a personal situation of mine in the past, but imagine a court system that doesn't give two shits about you, taking your kid away from you, all because your ex-partner decides to go and get a false accusatory document against you, a stay away order, with no evidence whatsoever. All these women have to say is, quote, I'm in fear of my life from fill in the blank with the man that they're talking about. It could be for any little reason that they fabricate. It doesn't matter. And you immediately lose the ability to see your child until you fight in child court. And this could take months, possibly years, depending on how long the court cases are drawn out, depending on if there's even a verdict reached with the first court case. It could go on and on. And if she's got more resources than you do when it comes to legal representation, you might have little to no chance of seeing your kid until they're, done being in diapers, saying their first words. I missed out on a year of my daughter's life based strictly on false accusations. And I'll go much deeper into that rabbit hole in another video. I just wanted to cite a small personal example of something that could make you cry. And that obviously made me break down. And for any woman out there that would laugh at that, like just reverse the roles. What if a child was taken from a woman? Is a woman not supposed to cry? No, of course they're gonna, right? If they care about the kids, they're gonna cry. And what's a man gonna do? Tell them to woman up? It's not gonna happen. Guys, we're under the mantra of, yes, we're supposed to be the rock. We're supposed to be the stable ones, the tough ones. No matter what situation comes our way, we got to handle it. But we can break too. Even the strongest iron beam can snap in half with enough pressure. I don't know what other analogy would fit that. I feel like that's a pretty strong one. Even iron can bend and break under the right circumstances. So, again, for women to do that, it's honestly, to me, it's kind of childish. If you're at least going to feel like that, you should remain silent about it. Don't add fuel to the fire. If a guy's already feeling that way, the last thing that I would want to do to any human being, regardless of gender, is if they're in a deep, dark position in their mind like that, the last thing you want to do is fan the flames. And the only reason you would want to do that is, A, you're insecure with yourself, or B, you just love causing damage. Like, I can't see any other logic or reasoning behind it. You just, that's a really evil trait. And I hope that, especially the women that do this, I hope that one day they're able to look in the mirror and realize what they were doing was completely uncalled for. And they may not think about their actions until something similar happens to them. And I am a firm believer in karma, and I've also seen certain things happen to certain people. I won't mention names or titles, but I've seen certain people fall to their own shortcomings, to the things that they've projected onto other people. They've had it done back to them, and tale as old as time. They just, sometimes they still don't get it. Sometimes they don't get it, and they may keep living the same lives that they were without the lessons being learned. Hopefully certain women see this, and maybe if they were on the fence about their thoughts when it comes to men crying, maybe this will give them a deeper understanding that we also have feelings. I mean, it seems like the most validated feeling that men can get is just anger and rage. And just like a boiler, right? That a boiler, a hot water system, whatever you have that has a pressure relief valve, you want to cut off the sorrow and the depression for men, fine. Well, where does the rest of that pressure go? Well, it tends to flow into hate and anger and rage. Okay? And then what happens when women try to cut that off for men, saying, oh, well, he's crazy, he's acting belligerent, he's this and that. Well, what avenues did that guy have if he was beyond his breaking point and you basically pointed and laughed at him and called him a sissy, called him a bitch, possibly worse? Whatever you could have done to kick the guy metaphorically while he's already down in his mind. This guy could be 2 seconds away from from doing something that really he shouldn't do to himself, you know. And this guy in the TikTok video also said, I mean, he spoke for Australia, but I'm sure around the world that we're losing men by the dozen. I'm sure it's got to be the same way here in the U.S. You know, there's a lot of people that feel lost and hopeless, and we need to get on a better path. And I think, you know, instead of being so evil and vile about these things, certain women could be the beacon. They could be the rock that when that man does fall, that she's got enough mental fortitude to help pick him up and put aside the mantra of, oh, he's supposed to be indestructible. No, we are destructible. Okay? We're told that we can't show that we're being damaged as easily as women are allowed to according to societal standards. You know, so I'm going to wrap the video up here, guys. I just wanted to throw my 2 cents in on that. And speaking of feeling down or feeling alone, you know, feeling like the world's against you, if you guys feel like you need a little pick-me-up, check out my other channel, Over Roast Motivates. I do a lot of fun stuff over there, and it's much more lighthearted than this channel, because I feel like no matter where you go on the internet, you can absolutely find negativity, but it's a little harder to find positive stuff. So this channel revolves around fitness, gaming, hobbies, and motivational speeches. Again, all kinds of fun stuff across the board, whether it's workouts, certain video games, etc. So if there's something you want to check out, I would greatly appreciate it. And this has been Over Roast versus the World. I appreciate you watching the video. Hope to catch you in the next one. Make it a great day, fellas, and stay strong out here, fellas. Stay strong.